Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be flying first class from DCA Reagan National to MYR Myrtle Beach Airport in South Carolina. As always, if you enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe. This flight was in a CRJ-700 for American Airlines. And as you can hear in the background as we take off, it was a pretty shaky takeoff. I don't know if that was just the runway being rough or if it's just the airplane itself. When I took off out of Reagan National, we actually started hitting north before we turned to go south. I was sitting on the left side of the aircraft, so we'll get to fly right past the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. If I was on the right side of the aircraft, I would have had a good view of downtown Washington, D.C. There were 9 seats in first class. I'll show the configuration that this plane was in a second. But one thing you'll notice is that the first class seats are kind of offset, so I wasn't sitting directly next to a window, but I had 2 windows I could look out of. I could either lean forward and look out of one or lean back and look out of the other one. Yeah, here's the configuration that I had. As you see, all the first class seats are yellow because the windows are offset. This is a shot inside the aircraft. One thing to note, look at the carriage bins at the top. On the right side of that picture, there's no room to put carry-ons on there. There's only room for if you go back to the picture, on the left side of the aircraft. And those bins are they're super tiny. So it's highly recommended to gate check any carry-on bag. Unfortunately, some of the people on this flight did not do that. It led to some delays taking off because then they had to take their luggage back off and gate check it. But it's very easy to gate check. Before you board, they hand you a little tag. You put that on and you just leave it at the end of the airport ramp. Or for this flight, there was someone standing right there, and I just handed it back to them, and they went and put it in the storage bin under the plane. There's some more views out of the window. At this point, we had already turned and started hitting south at this point. Just to give you some dimensions and the differences between first class and kind of the rest of the plane. In the 9 first class seats, the pitch is 37 degrees, and the width of the seats are 19.5 to 21 inches with a 27 degree recline, which is pretty insane if you're used to just flying economy and you get in a seat that reclines back that much. It's pretty roomy. The economy seats have a pitch of 31 inches and they're 17 inches in width with only an 8 to 9 degree recline. I'd say the major difference though is having so much shoulder room in first class versus flying economy. I was flying solo on this flight, so it was also nice just having my own seat and not having to sit next to anyone. Since it was such a short flight, I was offered a drink and a snack. It was nice to get a full can of a soda. As for the in-flight entertainment, it was just on the phone, but they don't turn that on until you get they don't turn that on until you do get at cruising altitude, which, because this was a short flight, it was like 20 minutes. So if you're on this flight, do not buy Wi-Fi. It is not worth it. I didn't buy it unless you just want to be on the internet for about 20 minutes. You can see this is how much leg room I had in here. I'm 5'11", and you can see how much leg and knee room I had with my backpack in front of me. If I move the backpack behind me, it gives a little more foot room. But the CRJ-700 is definitely a compact plane. I paid $60 to upgrade from economy to first class. For me, I would say it was worth it, just because it was such a tiny plane. To have the extra leg room and shoulder room was nice. I didn't check the in-seat power until almost near the end of the flight, and I tried to plug into USB, but it wouldn't charge. It wouldn't charge my phone. I didn't try the actual physical plug. Maybe that would have worked, but at least on this flight, then there was no power in the seat, or maybe just the seat was broken. You see there on the left side of the screen, that is the Myrtle Beach Airport, which we'll be landing on shortly. Depending on the wind direction, you will actually bypass the airport. And at least on today, the way the wind was blowing, we bypassed the airport and went out over the ocean and circled back to land. The total length of this flight was an hour and a half, which was nice. Much shorter than than driving from Washington D.C. to Myrtle Beach, which is like 9 hours or something. So the hour and a half flight was worth it. So here you can kind of see just how narrow this aircraft is. There's two seats to the right of me, and I'm in the single seats. But you can see just like, when the flight attendants would walk through the aisleway, I would actually have to move over a little bit just because it was so narrow. This is my first time flying on a CRJ-700. It's the smallest jet that I've flown on so far. I think the $60 to get a larger seat for the comfort, for me, I think it was worth the value. Here's some shots of us flying over the Atlantic Ocean as we made a U-turn to come back into Myrtle Beach. To the left side of the screen, those cities are Surfside Beach and Garden City, South Carolina. And here in a second, we'll get a little bit better view of the Surfside Beach Pier, and we'll fly right past it here in a few minutes. I would definitely highly recommend when you're booking flights to look at the seat maps on the airlines and then compare that to the website seatguru.com, and that way you can look and see exactly what you're getting into. Like, I knew beforehand that my first class seats were going to be kind of misaligned with the windows, but there are several different layouts of the CRJ-700, but you can kind of figure out which one you're getting by looking at the seat map on the website and then looking at more detail on seatguru.com to see which ones have more leg room and stuff like that. So here we are, we're starting to come into a landing here into the airport. This was also it was the absolute roughest landing I've experienced in a plane. You'll hear that here in a minute when we touch down. Again, I don't know if it was just because it's a smaller jet or maybe the runway is rough at this airport. I'm not real sure. If you were somehow took a nap on this flight and then hit that when you touched down, that definitely woke you up. The Myrtle Beach Airport is actually a pretty nice airport. It's a little larger than I thought it would be.
It is our pleasure to welcome you to Myrtle Beach, where the local time is 6:30 p.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, and keep the aisle clear of all carry-on items. Check your seat back pocket and surrounding area for any personal items, such as tablets and cell phones. Please use caution when opening an overhead compartment, as carry-on items may have shifted in flight. You may now use your cell phone. American, our one-world partners in this DC-based flight crew, thank you for flying with us this evening. Once again, welcome to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, this airport actually has two separate terminals, an A and B terminal, and several restaurants inside. When you do get off the plane, and if you've gate checked a carry-on bag, make sure that when you exit here to stop and stand right in this location and wait for them to bring out your carry-ons. If you do forget, they will put them in the with the rest of the carry-on baggage. You just got to wait to get it down here in the baggage claim. They got 4 baggage claims, as you saw there. Very nice airport. Here's a view of the rental car lot, and this is also the area that you can stand at if you're getting picked up. So that's going to wrap up this video. Again, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll be bringing out some more content here in the near future. Thanks.